Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. Today I'm going to give you guys my performance review on the Way of Wade 808-5 Ultra. This is the successor to the 808-4 Ultras, which was a very good shoe when it came to the traction, cushioning, materials, and the lockdown and support was very good on top of that as well. It was a very solid shoe from last year and I really like playing in that shoe. It did take some time to break in when it comes to certain aspects of the shoe, but it was a very good shoe nonetheless. So I was very curious to see what the 808-5 Ultras offered, and with the new cushioning that was implemented in this shoe as well. So I was very hyped and stoked when this first came out, so I was dying to get my hands on a pair of these. They do retail for 160 bucks, the same as the 808-4 Ultras. So if you guys are interested, I will leave a link in the description box below. Now, as far as the try-ons go, it is much easier compared to the 808-4 Ultras, where it is a little bit more spacious when it comes to opening the laces up. And as far as the drop-in midsole goes, you do have these little nubs here in the forefoot, which aren't as sticky compared to the 808-4 Ultras, and it does break in over time. Not as long as the 808-4 Ultras, in my opinion. So with a little bit of break-in time, it essentially smoothens out the more you play in it. So as far as try-ons go, it is basically a lot easier when it comes to putting them on. It doesn't really stick to your sock that much when it comes to the drop-in midsole. As far as sizing goes, I went true to size, and the width is all over the place in my opinion. The width is fine. It gives you like a roomy fit in the toe box. However, the length of the shoe runs ridiculously long to the point where I got a thumb size amount of space when it comes to the length of the shoe. So as far as sizing goes, I would go down half a size for me personally, just to get like a better one-to-one fit. Because of the width of the shoe, it is relaxed, so if you go down half a size, it will just be a little bit better as far as the width is concerned. For now, for this, you should probably do the same as well to get like the best overall fit in my opinion. And for wide footers, you should be fine going true to size. Just be mindful that you're going to have quite extra length when it comes to the length of the shoe itself, but the width of the shoe is relaxed, so going true to size is the best way to do that. If you go up half size extra, it's probably going to be too much of a mismatch for you, and at that point I will probably avoid these in general. For the traction setup in this shoe, it is a full-length herringbone traction pattern with tough rubber mostly throughout the entire heel and in the midfoot of the shoe all the way into the forefoot, and you get this little section of GCU rubber around basically the toe end of the outsole itself. And as far as how it grips, it is elite right out of the gates in my opinion. Necessarily, I didn't really have to break them in. Zero break-in time was required when it came to the outsole itself, so you're going to get instant traction right out of the gate, and it is elite level grip in my opinion. On dusty courts, it picks up a little bit of dust, but it doesn't stick to it, and it is very easy to wipe off. And as long as you frequently wipe them down, they're pretty much going to keep them clean at all times, and you don't really have to wipe it off that often. So very good on dusty conditions. So if you take all of that aside, lateral movements felt very sudden, going side to side, felt very quick and shifty. For vertical movements, they are really good when it comes to hard stops. Being able to stop on a dime was very nice in these. And the push-offs are lightning quick, so you're going to have a nice explosive launch with the tacky sensation that you get from the outsole itself. So you're going to have an explosive launch on your first step too. So very elite traction when it comes to vertical movements and lateral movements as well. For durability, it is really good when it comes to the tough rubber. There are little to no signs of wear when it comes to the tough rubber, especially in the heel, midfoot. There's a little bit here in the forefoot with the gritty texture of the tough rubber, basically like fading off in some spots. And for the GCU rubber, that is holding up for the most part. You do get a good bit of fading when it comes to the gritty texture in the high wear areas. So for the most part, it isn't necessarily fraying. You do get a little bit of fraying on the top of the toe box, but it's very slight. So as far as outdoor use, you should be fine playing in them. Just keep in mind that the grooves are quite shallow, so they are very thin. So if you start playing in them outdoors, you're probably just going to burn right through it. But if you're playing indoors, you're going to be more than fine. Outdoor use, you should be fine. Just be mindful that the grooves are shallow. But at the end of the day, traction to me is elite when it comes to the grip profile that you get, and it required zero break-in time, and the dust pickup was slight, and it's very easy to wipe off at the end of the day. One of the differences in the 808-5s compared to the 808-4s is the cushioning setup, where you get a super boom drop-in midsole, which is new to Way of Wade when it comes to cushioning in general. And as far as how it feels, it was one of the craziest sensations that I have felt when it comes to overall cushioning. When it comes to the feel of the shoe, it is quite squishy on hand, and it feels very similar to what you feel when it comes to squishiness of the shoe. It's very close to ZoomX foam when it is exposed. It is very nice and marshmallowy type of feel when it comes to the cushioning. So it was a quite different change from the regular Boom, where it's just nice and soft, but this is just an extra level when it comes to how soft and squishy it is. So it's very nice and plush in hand, and as a result of that, forefoot cushioning is incredibly responsive in the forefoot, and you get a double dose of shanks along with this carbon fiber bottom loaded shank plate that you get here in the forefoot, and you get this TPU shank that wraps in the heel and extends to the bottom half of the shoe into the midfoot, and it extends into the forefoot. So you're going to have a double dose of propulsion basically in this shoe, so you're going to have incredible bounce on top of it, and the shoe is very light on foot, so you're going to have a nice lively feel under your foot. So that was probably one of the craziest highlights out of this cushioning setup, in my opinion, with the exception of the squishy feel. And as you move into the squishy feel, the heel is very nice and comfortable, and it is very plush and forgiving. And like I said, it's very comparable to Zoom X foam, and as a result of that, the impact protection felt very good at the end of the day. As far as fluidity goes, that is also a surprise, because the main shoe itself is kind of clunky in the back, but it is not as clunky as in the 808 Ultras. And topping it off with the squishiness that you get in the heel with these, it basically feels like there is no clunkiness in the back half of the shoe. It is very forgiving, and as a result, heel to toe transitions felt very smooth, and it was very nice going up and down the court, and felt effortless at times when I was running up and down the court with these, when it comes to the squishy forgiveness of the foam and the snappiness of two shanks that you get in the shoe itself. So very lively shoe when it comes to it, very bouncy and very comfortable. While that was all nice and dandy, I did run into some fatigue when it came to my legs. My legs felt done after each day playing in these, and that's mainly due to how squishy the cushioning is. When you have something that forgiving, it does make your muscles work a little harder. That way you can stay balanced on top of the midsole. So that was an issue that I came across. The more I played in it, it did result in my legs being fatigued. So that was something to come across if you have that kind of an issue. If you are experiencing something this squishy, your muscles are going to work harder just to keep yourself balanced on top of something this forgiving. So keep that in mind. You do have a slight improvement when it comes to how it feels over time, so you do have to give it some time to break in. That way you can get used to how the cushioning feels on your foot. But once you break it in my opinion, one of the most insane cushioning setups I've ever tried, in my opinion. Very squishy, and it is pretty comparable to Zoom X foam, in my opinion. So very nice step up when it comes to how comfortable it feels on foot, how insanely responsive it feels on foot, and with the double dose of shanks that you get, it is incredibly bouncy on top of it. Now, for the materials itself, you basically are going to get this engineered mesh material all around the shoe here in the forefoot, especially a little bit here on the lateral and medial side of the shoe, along with some fuse overlays that you get here on the top of the toe box, and a little bit more here in the medial. And you also get this suede patch that you get here in the lateral side of the shoe, along with this rubber clip that you get here in the back. The tongue itself is entirely made up of mesh material with some decent padding here on the top of the tongue, along with some decent padding around the ankle area as well as in the heel area especially. As far as how it feels on foot, it is very lightweight and very airy, with the mesh material being very thin on foot. The mesh material here in the forefoot is very comfortable and flexible. There is a little bit of pinching here and there with the fuse overlays, especially when you bend it, you get a little bit of creasing from the fuse overlays, and it does pinch a little bit in the forefoot, but it wasn't really that much of an issue. And the same also goes with the midfoot. Didn't experience any lace irritation throughout the midfoot, so didn't have any issues with that. And the padding was decent at the end of the day as far as the tongue is concerned. The padding in the back is minimal, but it does feel comfortable nonetheless. I did notice a little bit of ankle chafing around the ankle collar at the beginning, but that eventually goes away. So as far as the ankle and heel comfort is concerned, as long as you break it in, it feels very nice and comfortable in the back. As far as aesthetics, I really like this streamlined design that you get, which looks really nice when it is completely decked out in red entirely. So that was a huge plus when it comes to the overall aesthetic look and color of the shoe. I also like the heel counters in the back, which lip outward, and you also get this really nice suede patch here in the midfoot, which looks like a bullet, highlighting the streamlined design that you get from this shoe. And it also reflects the performance when it comes to the traction and cushioning, being very grippy and being very explosive also, just like a bullet. So it relates to what the shoe looks like, and it performs like it too. So at the end of the day, it is very lightweight and breathable, making it really comfortable on foot while looking really nice and streamlined, especially in this red colorway. Now, as far as lockdown is concerned, it is good, but in my opinion, it can be better if you order the right size, because like I said earlier, the sizing of this shoe is quite weird, with a relaxed fit when it comes to width, but it is extra long when it comes to the length. So as far as forefoot lockdown is concerned, the fit is kind of loose, like I said earlier, in my size, so the width was okay for me when it came to going side to side. But since the shoe runs very long on hard stops, it does slide forward, and it did cause some discomfort when it comes to my toes sliding forward into the toe box. It was very unforgiving, and I didn't really like it, so that was kind of an issue when it came down to it. The midsole does have some nubs, that way it sticks to your sock so you don't necessarily slide forward, but as you break it in over time, it doesn't stick very long. So as long the longer you break it in, the less effective the nubs will be on the midsole itself. So as long as you order the right size when it comes to the forefoot, the width will be a little bit better if you order the right size, and the length will be a little bit smaller as well. So keep that in mind when it comes to the forefoot lockdown. It can be better varying in the right size that you get. In the midfoot, you get lace loops integrated throughout the lace line materials as well, providing a nice wrap around the midfoot, and the laces aren't extra long, so you can tie them up extra tightly if you need them to. They are unnecessarily long, so that was a slight issue in my part, a nitpick in my opinion, but as long as they're extra long, you're going to have extra pressure to tighten up the midfoot, so you get an extra contained feel in the midfoot. In the heel, it's good, but you do get a little bit of heel slippage every now and then. The padding is sculpted in the heel, so as long as you break it in over time, it does conform to the back of your foot. That way it doesn't slide out that much over time. So at the end of the day, the lockdown is good for what it can be, but it can be better as long as you order the right size. And last but not least, when it comes to support, they were incredibly stable and planted, so you're gonna have a plethora of supportive features. When it comes to lateral support, you do get this very protruded outrigger here in the forefoot, as well as the TPU wrapped around on top of it, so you're gonna have some nice containment here in the forefoot, and it also extends into the midfoot, giving you some nice containment here, along with the suede patch to give the materials a little bit extra rigidity here in the midfoot. And it continues the heel with the shank plate that you get in the back, and it basically wraps all around the midfoot, as well as this rubberized clip that you get on the top to give you like a double dose of containment here in the heel. So you're gonna have a very nice containment with the lateral counters that you get, as well as the midsole itself. You do get sidewalls completely wrapped around the midsole itself, so you're gonna have extra containment inside the shoe with the plethora of supportive features that you get on the outside of the shoe as well. So when it came to lateral movements, you're basically set in stone, and you're going to have very nice confidence when it comes to being really shifty going side to side. The torsion is probably one of the best in my opinion, considering that it has two shanks, especially with the carbon fiber shank plate here in the midfoot. You're going to have really nice rigidity here in the midfoot, and the midsole just adds onto it to give you a little bit extra rigidity here in the midfoot, and you also get a little bit more support from the TPU shank that you get throughout the shoe itself. So you're going to have really nice balance in and out of the shoe essentially, and it continues onto the base of the shoe itself where the TPU plate is integrated into the outsole, and you get a nice wide flat base on top of it. So you're going to be really planted in and out of the shoe, and I didn't experience any instabilities when I was playing in this. So at the end of the day, two TPU shanks, you're basically going to be nice and stable at the end of the day with a really incredible balance, along with a plethora of lateral counters that you get. That way you're able to be really shifty going side to side and not have any issues with imbalances whatsoever. So to sum it up for you guys, the 808 Ultras is a crazy shoe, nothing short of it in my opinion, especially with the cushioning setup. Aside from the cushioning setup, the traction is elite when it comes to grip. Right out of the gate, you're going to be good to go. The materials are very nice and airy. The lockdown is good, but could be better if you order the right size. And the support is top-notch with a plethora of lateral stabilizers and really good support from the two shanks that you get, essentially. So very nice, very lively shoe when it comes down to it, with a little bit of adjustment when it comes to the cushioning setup. It does feel like Zoom X on foot, and it does require extra adjustability when it comes to how it feels on your foot, and you do have to work a little extra harder when it comes to how squishy it feels to give you that extra support, in my opinion, because the squishiness does result in your legs doing a little extra work and the muscles work a little extra harder when it comes down to it. So as long as you adjust to that in a certain amount of time, it is a very good cushioning setup, very lively and bouncy with the shanks that you get, and very comfortable as you get used to it under your foot. So very good shoe from top to bottom with the traction all the way up to the support. So very hard to beat when it comes down to it. Very level pegging when it comes to the Rigor AR2s in my opinion. So very close when it comes down to it. It's just the cushion is just next level when it comes to how comfy and plush it feels on foot. So very close pegging when it comes to the AR2s. Very close to the All City 13s in my opinion, especially when it comes to the cushioning setup. So very crazy shoe to say the least, and I really enjoyed playing it, especially the cushioning. Thank you guys for watching this video. This has been my performance review on the Way of Wade 8085 Ultras. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and comment down below on what you think of the 808.5s. Are they better than the 808.4s, or are the 808.4s better than the 808.5s? What do you think of the Super Boom cushioning? If you tried it out for yourselves, I'd like to know your thoughts, as well as any other questions that you might have. If you want to see my performance review on the 808.4 Ultras, I will leave a pop-up banner on the top of the screen right here. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below as well. If you'd like to stay up to date with future videos that I'll be posting, hit the subscribe button down below. It'll greatly support the channel as well. And if you'd like to see what I'm talking about the All City 13s as well as the Rigor AR2s, I will leave the reviews on the corners of the screen right here. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, all of that information will be in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. And until next time, keep shooting.